first thing that you do to groom a horse is use a curry comb. And a curry comb is used to get off all of the loose hairs and dirt, and you just rub it in a circular motion. And my horse is really dirty right now because she just came in from the field. But I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of hair and dirt that's coming off. The next grooming tool that you would use would be a dandy brush or a hard brush, and you just use it in a fast clicking motion to get off all of the excess dust and hair that has been pulled off by the milk and comb. And you want to make sure that you especially get under their belly because the girth will actually rub and it'll cause some irritation, so you don't want anything that's stuck under there. The last and most important tool that is used for grooming would be the hoof pick. And you use it to get out dirt and rocks that could be stuck in the horse's feet. And you want to make sure that you get all of this out before and after riding, because the stones could cause bruises and it could cause a lot of pain to the horse if you don't get it out. It could also cause a disease called thrush, which is very painful, and it's like an infection in their foot. When you want to pick up your horse's foot, you need to make sure that you lean into their shoulder and run your hand down along their leg. Now, my horse doesn't need to have her front feet picked because she has pads, which are shock absorbers when she's jumping, but you always need to check to make sure that they're still there, because during the cold and wet weather, they can fall out. On the back feet, my horse is actually barefoot, so you need to pick their feet in the back. And you just go around this triangular area. It's called the frog. You want to make sure that you do not hit that part because it is sensitive. But right now she doesn't have very much in it. But you always want to make sure, even after riding, that you check their feet to make sure there's nothing there. Now that you've groomed your horse, it's time to tack them up. Next thing that we're going to do is put on the boots. These are called open fronts, and they protect the horse's legs whenever they're jumping if they hit a rail. And you Velcro them from the front to the back. And this Velcro goes on the outside so that it doesn't interfere with their insides of their legs. These are back boots, and they go on the back of the horse's legs. And they just keep it from her back legs from rubbing, because sometimes whenever she walks, she rubs her back legs together. The next thing that you put on is the saddle pad and half pad. And when you put them on, you want to make sure that they are on their withers, which is like this area right here. And you probably go like about an inch over where their mane starts. This next item is the saddle, and it goes on the horse's back, right on top of the half pad and the saddle pad. And you want to make sure that it is even on both sides, and that none of the saddle pads are like sort of like rolled up, which it's not. This is the keeper, and you put it on this first strap, which these are called billets. And this just sort of keeps the saddle pads in place. Now we have to put the girth on, and I just usually put this on the 5th hole. Every horse is different, but for her this starts on the 5th hole, and it goes on the 1st and 3rd billet strap. I don't know if you noticed, but one side is stretchy and one's not, and you start off with the non-stretchy side so that you're able to pull this up. Right now she's biting. You need to make sure that you're not in front of a horse whenever they're getting their girth on, because sometimes they get a little angry. And whenever putting a girth on, you don't want to put it on as tight as it should go. So whenever you put on a bridle, this is twisted, you want to put the reins over their head before you take their halter off, because you don't want to risk them going off somewhere. And this just sort of gives you a little bit more control of them. When putting on the bridle, you need to make sure you get all of the straps out of the way, because this actually has to go in their mouth. And whenever I put my horse's bit in, I usually have to stick my thumb, but she's being good today, because there's actually a space right here where the bit goes, and it's just where the horse doesn't have teeth, and that's what actually helps you control the horse. And this just goes up, this strap right here goes over behind their ears, and the brow band goes on their forehead. And this is the throat latch. When you attach it, you should be able to fit a fist, and that's how you know how tight to make it. And this is the nose band, and it goes underneath of the bit and the other straps. And for how tight this one should be, you should be able to fit 2 fingers in between. And lastly, not all horses have this, but this is called a flash. And this is so that she can't run with the bit, which means that she'll just like take the bit and put it in front of her teeth so that she can't feel whenever you're pulling on her. And this is so the bit can't go up. And she really doesn't like it, but she's crazy sometimes, so she needs it. And now you are ready to ride. Thanks for listening to my speech.